It seems that Warriors are on the rise again, right? That's at least what we can say after seeing the performance of some of them at Calling Kansas City. No Warrior won at the end, but still, I found it really impressive. And so today in my video, I want to look at a recent game I played as Mario against Kassai. But first of all, thanks for taking the time again to watch my video here on my channel. It really means a lot to me that you take the time and watch this, that you give me feedback, be it via comments on YouTube or via direct message on one of the platforms. So thanks again for this. And I think doing this now for a little bit, it really has helped me already to become a little bit better in my gameplay. So please continue that. If you could like and subscribe to the video and the channel, that would really help me to continue doing this. So let's dive right into Mario versus Kassai. And I can already tell you, Graphene Chelicera takes a lot of work in this game. So here we go. All right, so in terms of sideboarding, because I didn't capture this here in the recording, I decided to go aggressively and sided out almost all of the defense reactions. I kept in 2 traps, because that's like from talking to some of my local players playing Kassai, they said that they struggle most into Mario if Mario goes aggressively. So that is what I tried out here. Looking at this hand, I would love to play this hand as it is, right? 2 pumps, enough resources for a dagger, the threat of Save a Bloodshed and Leave No Witnesses. So I decide to not do anything, to not let Kassai filter the hand and just put the Leave No Witnesses into Arsenal here. My opponent plays Draw Swords, has the Fabled in hand, and as such can already create a bunch of gold here. Coming in for 5 with 1 card left in hand. So because they drew a card, they activation of Centauri Saber, the second one is for free, right? So I'm pretty sure there's another Saber coming down the line. So as from my hand, I only really want to block with the Mark of the Black Widow, because the rest either is my resource for pitching into the Clave or is 4 value from like just the amount of damage and presents. I'm deciding to not block the first sword, but put the Mark of the Black Widow here. So going down to 32 already, but I have at least 9 attack with the dagger and the 2 front pumps, threatening a draw, right, with the Save a Bloodshed. And yeah, also have the Leave No Witnesses, but they don't have an arsenal, so not really incentivized to play this here. It would get less value, right? So I'm coming in here for 9 with the Hunter's Clave. They know I could flick and then potentially draw a card. So that is where they put 3 cards to block here. So they're really respecting the draw here. And as said, as they don't have an arsenal, I decide to not play the Leave No Witnesses. And yeah, well, my hand is interesting, right? 2 blues, 2 Command and Conquer, plus the Leave No Witnesses. So there are multiple lines I could take here, right? For example, I could do Dagger, Command and Conquer, flick the dagger, starting point, another Command and Conquer. Or, which would be 1 value more, I could do the Command and Conquer and flick a dagger, activate starting point, play the blue Orbweaver Spinneret, come in with the Chelicera for 3 go again, and then play the Leave No Witnesses and put the Command and Conquer into the arsenal. So that's also, I think, the line that I took here, right? So I go for Command and Conquer. They give me 6 block, Dynamos, the Blood Spill, and Slice and Dice. I activate the Clave here, playing starting point for go again. Right? I know it's early, right, to use the starting point here, but it feels like this can really give me quite a bit of tempo. And so yeah, that's why I decide for this. As said, playing aggressively might be the way to go here, right? So Chelicera coming in for 3 to be followed up by the Leave No Witnesses. Of course, they take the 3 damage as there's no disruption tied to it. And here comes the Leave No Witnesses. So they decide to not block the Leave No Witness after some consideration and Gotta take it on the chin from top of the deck, and a Blade Flurry from Arsenal. So interesting that they did not try to block this out. They still had equipment available to block this. So put the CNC into Arsenal, and they come in with this entire Saber for 2. My hand is actually pretty decent, I would say, right? Pain in the backside, 3 go again, on hit dagger. I have a blue to pitch into the daggers. I have a Tarantula Toxin to push the Griffin Chelicera, and a Leave No Witness, but also the CNC and Arsenal, right? So there's also a world where I could play the CNC here. So I decide not to block. They play a Glint the Quicksilver, so good decision to not block, so they don't get the card draw. They're coming with another Centauri Saber for 2. I suspect this is only 2 damage, and so yeah, I just take it, which yeah is, I think, a pretty good turn cycle for me here. Right, so starting with the pain in the backside to see if they respect this, if they want to block it. Obviously, it would be best if they don't block it. Hunter's Clave hits. I get to mark them, which would give me the option to, yeah, have go again on the Chelicera. They actually do block it here, right? So I need to attack them with a Clave in order to get them marked, which would give me the option for 2 go again from the Chelicera. They don't block the Clave, which is good for me here. Let's come with the Chelicera. It's just 2 go again. They have a high life total, so I don't expect them to block this. So Tarantula Toxin only gets 3 value here and not 6, but that's okay for me in this state of the game. And so now I have 2 options. I could either play the Leave No Witnesses, or I use the Leave No Witnesses and a resource from Tunic to play the Command and Conquer. And somehow I have the feeling that they might have a D-React somewhere. So that's a line I could take. Yeah, and here I use the Tunic resource and play the CNC to play around any kind of D-Reacts that they might have. Okay, so they had a Seduce Secrets in Arsenal, not a D-React. So could have also played the Leave No Witnesses and kept the Command and Conquer in Arsenal here. Probably would have been the better line, knowing this now. So with Seduce Secrets, they look at the top card of my deck, they draw a card, and so they actually still block the Command and Conquer, respecting the 6 damage with a Blade Flurry and a Blade Runner here, leaving them with 2 cards here. So yeah, I think good turnout for me in this case. My next hand is interesting. No blue for the daggers. 2 traps, my only 2 traps in the deck, I believe, if I remember correctly from sideboarding. So they activate Kassai here and come in with the Centauri Saber, as they already have 2 gold. Yes, I know about like their specialization, yes, but to have a halfway decent, efficient turn on my end, I actually, yeah, don't block this, because it would have been an overblock at the same time and not getting them marked. So my turn, I play Cut from the Same Cloth. Take a look at their hand. It's in the swing, hit and run yellow, Spoils of War, and a snack. Well, so can at least block 9 with this hand and have that blue to pitch, right? So as this marked them because of the in the swing attack reaction, sorry, they are marked, so I can play the Griffin Chelicera with the pump and the marked. It's coming up to 6. And because they are marked, I can play the Stains of the Redback to bring it up to 9 and put the Lair of the Spider in Arsenal for the next turn when they attack me. They block with Valent Dynamo to get the value of it. Makes sense. They don't block anything else because there's no disruption. And here they had the D-React in Arsenal, so ultimately taking 4 damage, losing the mark, so I'm not transforming, but yeah, down to 22 life here, but having a 4-card hand, which I know what it is, which is good, right? So I can certainly play around it. My hand is not ideal. 3 blues, the Scar Tissue as an attack reaction. They pitched the snack into a gold. they play the Spoils of War and the Outlander Skirmish that they must have drawn with the gold. So they're coming in for 7 here. How to block this? Could be a 3 block, the Scar Tissue and the attack reaction. But also maybe putting, yeah, I think I put 2 blues in front of it, leaking, no, not leaking 1 damage, but because it goes up to 8, because of the attack action, I now play the Lair of the Spider, which gets them marked, but also not creating any copper. So they still have the yellow hit and run in hand and in the swing. So this can potentially go up to 5. And this is where I'm not 100% sure if this is correct. I still want to deny them the copper generation. So I'm thinking about using Mask of Deceit and getting the Den of the Spider that I pitched the turn prior to block out 5 and, yeah, denying them the copper generation here. And that would leave me with a blue for both daggers and theoretically a Scar Tissue. And yeah, so that's the line I go here. Trapdoor, banishing a card, Den of the Spider, another pump it within the swing, and I block it for 5. So they have a yellow hit and run in arsenal for next turn. Okay, so my turn is pretty easy, right? It's a Chelicera for 1 go again, followed by a Hunter's Glaive for 1 go again on that mark. So yeah, I ideally leave them marked at the end of the turn. Okay, so they give me the Valent Dynamo value because they are probably attacking with 2 Centauri Sabers next turn to get the blocking value back. So here comes Hunter's Glaive, but I'm not playing the Scar Tissue, but putting it into Arsenal. Okay, again, an interesting hand, right? I have a Codex, which is always good, so could potentially go into a CNC or into a Leave No Witnesses. Also, of course, I have the Scar Tissue, I have the Up Sticks and Run. They are marked, right? So there's a good way for me to just get a lot of value out of my Chelicera. So yeah, taking a look at what they attack me with. They used a yellow hit and run to pitch. They played a yellow hit and run. They played Raise an Army, which they must have drawn from cracking their gold, right? So good for me that they cracked their gold, and so it's just 1 Centauri Sellsword and not more. But that's obviously already a threat. Here they come in for 2 damage plus a Blade Flurry, so they're coming in for 4 here. And yeah, I already decided, okay, I'm not blocking with this hand. It converts quite nicely. And as mentioned, I want to be kind of aggressive here, especially now that they have the Sellsword on board. I don't know if that's correct, so please tell me in the comments if you would have played this differently and maybe blocked out a bit more and just cleared this entire Sellsword. But yeah, I decided to go down to 15 and now play the Up Sticks and Run, use the Tunic to come with the Chelicera for 6, but I still have the Scar Tissue in Arsenal, right? So would go up to 9 and leave them marked, which is good because I still have the Persuasive Prognosis here. Okay, so now Prognosis, again at Kassai. They are marked, right? So I have to take up the mantle. So I can bring this up to 5 and still switch out. I have a Mark of the Black Widow red in Grave. So that could be a good swap target. Don't have a Bonds yet, and no, not enough attack reactions. So yeah, this could theoretically go up to 7, banish a card, and give me a go again to go into a Leave No Witnesses. But let's see how they block. They block for 3, so with a defense reaction, this is covered, right? As this goes up to 7. And yeah, that is what they have in arsenal here, right? So 7, but still, I'm okay. They are at 12, I'm at 15. Well, they have a 4-card hand, which is always threatening, plus this entire Sellsword on board. But with the Codex and Arsenal, I at least know that I have a good option. And here, again, not 100% sure if this is correct, but having the Tarantula as the agent, having dagger buffs, and the option to create a new Chelicera is something where I think, hey, this could actually convert quite well through the Arakni Tarantula, the ability in general. But that would mean that I don't have much to block, right? I only have like really the Codex to block, right? It would give me 2 block. While on the other hand, it could have created 3, could create 3 attack value for me if discarded to the Tarantula ability. So I'm thinking quite a bit here. At the end, deciding not to block, which I think is, well, it not 100% sure if it's correct, but it definitely, I can create a lot of value out of this hand. They are 12, so I still have a bit of life buffer, and I haven't seen too many attack reactions from them yet, right? I've seen In the Swing, I have seen the Blade Fury, so yeah, probably gambling a bit here and also letting them create copper now. So they come in with the Centauri Sellsword next, which brings me down to 6. And then they send another Saber after hit and run red. Right, obviously they try to bring me down now. So I could go down to 1, which obviously is a pretty precarious life total. So here thinking if I should block with the Codex of Frailty. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I should have only blocked with the Tunic here, kept the Codex of Frailty in order to discard 2 Tarantula. Yeah, but here I decided to go with the blocking line going down to 3 life total. Okay, so playing the cut from the same cloth, which shows me their hand. Take it on the chin, In the Swing, slice and dice, and blood on her hands. All right, so now coming in for 5 with a Hunter's Clave on hit, lose another life. So this already threatens half the life total. I can flick the Graphene Chelicera, which is another 2 life they would lose. So flicking it here, as mentioned, that's the best line I have. The Orb Weaver Spinneret still in hand, so can create a new Chelicera. They, on top of all things, get marked, right? So Chelicera has go again, and I still have the Codex in arsenal for the Leave No Witnesses. Yeah, so here I come for another 4 on hit. They would lose another life. And here, if I would have the Codex still in hand, right, which I would have only have had in hand if I would have gone down to 1 life, I could pump this to 7, right? So knowing that they would have given me 1 more card. Here they block with all their equipment, which is good for me because that means that they need to respect the Leave No Witnesses that I send afterwards, because this would bring them down to 2 life. And they decide to put another card to block this to respect Tarantula Toxin, which I could have had in arsenal, but I didn't. So they have 3 cards left. I can play the Codex of Frailty. As always with Warriors, they did not play an attack action, so they don't need to put anything into their arsenal. Still, it threatens lethal. They don't have equipment block left, so they need to give me at least 1 card. And they have the Frailty, right? So Centauri Sabers both come for 1 less. At the same time, I'm not 100% in a good position here, right? Yes, they need to block 3 or use the, like they do here, they take it on the chin, right? So they already have go again with their sabers. They don't need to give it to them. Yeah, so not an ideal position here, but let's see what I draw. So I have the pump in arsenal. And, well, at least a bit of block here. So they come in for 2. I don't well, they could have had an attack reaction, yes, right? But here I need to play to win. and not play to not lose. So I know the next dagger or the next sword is pumped, so I block with the scar tissue here, which it would leave me vulnerable to any attack reaction. But with just one card in hand, I'm hoping this is not an attack reaction. And it wasn't. It was a defense reaction, actually. So they now sent the Centauri Sellsword, as they had pitched into the gold, I believe, with the blood on their hands. Their next sword is also then obviously coming in for 4. So here, well, I blocked 3 with the Command and Conquer on the Sellsword, and here I blocked 3 with the Stains of the Red back to not give the Saber +1. And then in my turn, only coming for 4 with the Leave No Witnesses. So they have the Valent Dynamos online again. So if they have 3 block in hand, they can easily block this with just 1 card from hand, which leaves them with 3 card in hand. Yeah, which again with 2 life is not the best option, but I can flick one of the claves here to bring them down to 1, which ultimately leaves them dead to flick knives. If I can activate it one more time. I chose the clave to get into one of the agents. Ideally, it's one that helps me a bit. And in this case, it's probably the best one I could have wished for, right? With Orb Weaver, the Graphene Chelicera is reduced by 1 resource. And in theory, I could instantly discard one of my cards to get another Chelicera and also get +3, so kind of like another Orb Weaver Spinneret. So here they come in for 2. And I really need to take a look at what cards did they play so far. What can I expect to happen here? As they played the Trot Along to get go again and used the Hit and Run to pitch, they probably want to go into the Sellsword next and then another sword attack. So probably I need to give them 3 cards, sorry. Right, so blocking with a non-attack here, the Orb Weaver Spinneret, which is sad. I could have liked another Chelicera, but at the same time, this does not make the Saber larger. I block the Sellsword then with the Surgical Extraction, because there it doesn't matter. And now they come with another Centauri Saber after a hit and run. So they come in for 5. So Tunic plus Persuasive Prognosis would kill me, because it would go up to 6. Tunic plus Tarantula Toxin, which I would love to cap, obviously, as it could bump the Chelicera quite well. Toxin plus Tunic is fine, because I would still be alive with 1 life. And as I have the Chelicera, a Dagger Pump, and the Prognosis, I can definitely flick the Chelicera. And so, yeah, obviously that does not incentivize me to block with the flick knives. So yeah, I block Toxin plus Tunic and stay alive with 1 health. And so this is where Orb Weaver really comes in handy. I can play the pump, and I can actually even use the resources of the Prognosis to get another clave back. So now I can come in with Chelicera for 1, not paying a resource because of the Orb Weaver Spinneret. Sorry, I come in obviously coming in for 5, not paying a resource. So they need to give me 2 cards, right? Or a D-React plus the Violent Dynamos. I'm still a little bit afraid of any shelters or Calming Breath or anything. So I decide to attack them again with the clave, so that they need to give me another card. So even if they now have something to prevent the flick, I would be very favored in the next turn, but they don't have it. So I win this game. Very close one, but I think the late game, I think I navigated it okay-ish. There were definitely some decisions, especially on taking damage with some of the hands, right? Where I probably could have taken a different line and not take the damage. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think I should have played this differently anywhere? All feedback is very welcome, and I'm happy to discuss this in the comments underneath this YouTube video. So thanks again for watching. Looking forward to seeing you with the next game. And yeah, if you would like and subscribe to this video on the channel, that would mean the world to me. Thanks and take care.